Okay, so these people are friends with my stalker. Um, he took advantage of it and okay, first of all, he still let his dog out all the time, and uh, it would poop in our yard, never in his yard. So I was like trying to chase it off because it broke things in our yard, and would start fights with other people's animals. Actually, I'll get to that too. But so I was throwing rocks toward it, but I had injured my arm so badly that I had to have it operated on. So it wasn't, I could not have hit that dog. It was an entire acre away from me. There was no way possible, even on my best day ever, could I have ever hit that dog. But I was trying to scare it. So, and he even looked at me and I said, "Excuse me." And he just shrugged at me and turned his back to me. But he told everyone I was hitting his dog with rocks and that, I injured it and all this stuff. And I'm like, you were standing right there. And another time, his dog had killed these two young 5 and 6 year old children's bunnies and left the entrails all over the yard. And the guy came up, the father came up, and he was yelling at him about it. And he literally, I just happened to be standing out there trying to do something in the dog pen, and he pointed at me and said it was my dog, which is funny because he has a big red dog with this black huge spot on its back. It looks like a saddle. It's unmistakable. And we had small white dogs. So the guy came over screaming at me, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. And then I realized, oh, okay. Anyways, but then they said their children were afraid of me. But the funniest part of that one is before we got cameras on our house, their kids came over, and I was hiding money to pay off one of my mom's bills, and I was going to surprise her. They stole $4,000 in one swipe, and then cash, and then they stole clothes, jewelry, everything. They stole a bunch of stuff out of my room. And one day, at first I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, who would come in this house knowing, it's not the best house? Why would they think there was that in our house? And who broke in here? And then one day I was outside and they kept going, "Thanks for the money." And I was like thinking, there's no way those kids, no. But I was like lying to myself, trying to make excuses for them. And then when next time there was I had just bought 3 pairs of pants and they were still in the bag and I was going to wash them, and I hadn't got to taking the price tags off and stuff. So I left them in the bag, and then the bag disappeared. I'm like, where did that go? And I kept thinking I was going crazy. Things kept disappearing. And I walk outside and they go, "Thanks for the money. Thanks for the clothes," or the pants. That's what they said. "Thanks for the pants, the new pants." And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, that's when we got cameras on our house. Yeah.